to Two Guys and Their Gym Talk Show. Noel and I, we are here to offer you stories about health and fitness with the aim to inspire you for life. So we are back on Monday night.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Just
we got
sorting out
that.
some audio issues. Okay, we're good now. All right. Sorry, Alvin. Let's go.
We are back on Monday now. Now, I'm excited because we have been doing Monday night for such a long time and decided to change. So we are back, and today we are streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and you are currently tuning to episode 73.
Yeah, happy Monday. Please bear with us if we actually haven't streamed at this time for a while. Just kind of exploring a new setup. We got new gadgets and devices. Alvin's got his green screen, but that's a limitation on Instagram. Actually, only one person gets to put a background. But that's all right. If you're watching this on LinkedIn or Facebook, you're gonna see Alvin somewhere else, not in front of the green screen. But
I'm
that's all right. What
overseas.
matters. There you go. What matters is that we are here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. And today we're here to discuss. This is just a conversation, and we got an interesting topic in store for all of y'all. I think when it comes to food, it's always a hot topic. So today, guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about food. But we want to get to know you as well. So we haven't been on a Monday night for a while. So we are happy to be here. Because we know that every time we do a new time slot, we meet new people, right? So if this is your first time here, or if you're watching a recording of this, if you're watching this right now, we want to get to know you, whether you're watching this on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Comment below, number one, where are you streaming in from? Okay, so you're going to type it down. Where are you streaming in from? Country, city, wherever. And what is that one phone app that you can't live without? Just choose one only, okay? I know we have a whole list of phone apps, but what is one thing that you absolutely cannot live without? You need to access it all the time, and if we deleted that app for you, life would just go down the drain. What app is that?
What's
I'll go
yours,
first.
Noel?
I'll go first. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me break the ice and go first. So, firstly, I'm streaming in from KL today. Alvin and I are streaming from our own gyms, and the one app that I can't live without, I think it would be my email. It would be the Gmail app, actually. As much as I am on social media and I need the WhatsApps and Facebook and all of that, it's not as essential as my emails. But think about it, right? All those apps actually depend on your email. You forget your password, they're going to email you a recovery code. So what's really more important than all of those? It's email, because 10, 12 years ago, email was what we had, and I can totally live with just being on email alone. So my answer would be my Gmail. That's the one app that I will not be able to live without. Yeah. What about you, Alvin?
I think for me it would be WhatsApp, Noel. WhatsApp, because I get a lot of message and the need to instantly respond to them. I find myself holding my phone more than being on my desktop. So I think I would say WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's true. That would be my number 2 app that I can't live without. So I can totally understand that. Great. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I mean, I think both of us, like, we're always in communication with our clients and so on, right? So people don't call anymore. People don't text. People actually don't email as much. They WhatsApp you. They want to send files, documents. They want to send documents, important documents for you to sign even. I get colleagues sending me documents on WhatsApp, sign it and send it back on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is slowly replacing things. Totally understand. If you're watching this right now, comment below, where are you streaming in from, and what is that one app that you cannot live without? Don't say MyFitnessPal. Okay, not true.
Well, we're going to speak about that later, because our topic for today, episode 73, is to cheat meal or not to cheat meal. And this is indeed some of our hot topics, because as a fitness professional, client come to us wanting to lose weight, and we always tell them that in order to lose weight, you need to balance your nutrition. You need to be in a calorie deficit to elicit fat loss. But it's easier said than done, because oftentimes we are living in what we call life, right? We have outings here. We're going to eat a little bit off our planned meal. So this is where the topic cheat meal. Should I have a cheat meal? Should I not have? How often? So Noel and I are going to talk about the benefit of cheat meal. Yes, there are some benefits. We're going to share about some nutritional concern that you need to know, and also some tips and maybe alternatives to help you better approach cheat meal and or your nutrition plan.
Yeah, and we all know what a cheat meal is. I think if someone has very limited knowledge on any kind of diet, or even if they've never been to a gym before, you know what? They know what a cheat meal is because we all do
What's
it.
a cheat meal, Noel?
It's a meal where you cheat on, right? Which is just actually, to be honest, right? I don't like the term cheat meal at all.
Agreed.
I really don't like it. I never use it in my clients. We're using it for our topic today because if we call it something else, nobody will know what on earth are we talking about. So for the sake of everyone knowing what today's topic is about, we are using the word cheat meal, to cheat or not to cheat. But if you really think about it deep down, your diet is not something that you need to cheat on, right?
Agreed.
Nothing to cheat on. You want to eat something, go ahead. Everything you eat is either going to bring you closer to your fitness goal or it's going to bring you further away. If you look at it that way, it solves everything. So what is really a cheat meal? I think the cheat meal is really that one meal where I think it's more appropriate to call it a reward meal. But then reward meal also, if you go down that rabbit hole, food isn't a reward. If you start thinking that food is a reward, then we're not dogs or cats that need to be rewarded for perform tricks, right? So it's really a meal that you want to kind of enjoy. And the reason why we're not having that meal, right, is because we have a certain goal we're trying to achieve. So we stay away from certain things. Not that there's anything wrong with ice cream. Ice cream's awesome, but you can't eat it 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and expect to tone up and lose body fat, for example. So there's a place and purpose for every meal. But for the sake of today's conversation, we're gonna use cheat meal, so you know where we're coming from. Yeah,
I totally agree with that. I feel like cheat meal is not a nice word to put it, but I guess if you think of it like in terms of relationship, if you're committed, you're married to someone, you are bound to stick to that person. So if you have a fitness goal, technically you are bound to stick 100% to your fitness goal, and therefore if you cheat with your partner, that's cheating. If you cheat with your nutrition plans, hence cheat meal come. But our nutrition and our relationship is 2 different things, Noel.
correct. Yeah, that's right. And but we get it, right? I think all of us actually know what we're trying to say. We get it, but what is that meal that we're not supposed to have or not needing to have right now because we have a certain goal? That's really what it is, right? And today we're going to talk about that. And again, every time we talk about food, everyone gets excited. So if you're just streaming in, if you're just watching this, comment below. I'm going to change the question that I pinned right there. What's your favorite cheat meals? I'm going to go to Elvin. Get your answer ready, Elvin. You're going to tell us what is it that you really want to eat, but you don't eat as much, right? I think we all have that. We all have this thing that we really desire to eat, but we don't, because of course you just can't eat something so caloric dense every single day, and it's just not good for you, right? So, but what is that thing that tastes so good? I'm going to give Elvin 30 seconds while I type out this question. And if you're watching this right now, everyone, comment below, right? What is that cheat meal? What is that thing that you like to go and have after you do I don't know, maybe you run half a marathon, 21 kilometers. What do you go and eat right after that? That's probably your cheat meal. Let us know. We want to talk about it. Of course, we're going to go a lot deeper into this topic, but it's also a very casual conversation today. I'm going to just post
so hard to choose, Noel.
So hard to choose, right? Correct.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We humans love our food. We humans love our food. And the amount of people that come to me and say that I want to this, but I'm a foodie, We're all foodies, I tell them. Right? We love food. Food is a great experience. And we Malaysians, especially, if you think about it, a lot of the things that we do revolve around food. If you give me a choice, I take my whole team of coaches and we go and have a meeting while having lunch, right? When it comes to festival, Hari Raya, Christmas, where do we meet? Do we meet in the park? No, we come home to your house and we eat food. We share food.
Right.
We have potluck. It's like food is such a big part of our culture, who we are and what we do. That's why we can't tell people who want to get started with their fitness journey, don't eat this. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not about restricting what you're eating. Okay, before I sidetrack everywhere. Alvin, what is your go-to cheat meal? That means that one thing that you save for special occasions and special treats, which is you'll really love, but you know that you can't eat it all the time because health-wise it's not the best thing. What is that thing for you, Alvin?
I would say it goes by seasonal. So at the moment, if you ask me that, I would say pizza. Pizza is high in calories, of course. It's never a single ingredient food or for pizza. So pizza is my cheat meal at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing now, Alvin. You know what? We haven't done this before. We should both go out for pizza, but good one lah,
Oh, we should.
right? Actually, I
Yeah.
don't even need. All those fancy pizzas actually don't really hit the spot. I don't know about you, but deep down inside, that greasy Domino's pizza, buy one free one, Pizza Hut, that just really hits the spot. And I think it's because growing up, when I was 12, 13 years old or what, when Pizza Hut came out, but that was my first experience with pizza. So I've eaten really expensive fancy pizza, which just doesn't hit the spot. And I've eaten like Domino's and Pizza Hut, and it just really, it's just full on. Yeah, great. I'm going to say the same thing as well, Elvin. You know what? This means that our
Perfect.
next show, we should live stream at some pizza place and just have a conversation. But we should do that. We should do that. Does Kajang have any good pizza, Elvin?
I would say no. Haven't yet tasted a good pizza in Kajang, except the
So
mainstream
what's your
ones.
go-to pizza? So if you wanted to have this treat for yourself, where would you go? What would you order? What pizza?
I think I would go to a specific restaurants that have pizza in their menu and just kind of explore. I think my favorite pizza would be pepperoni, beef pepperoni. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a must
nice
order.
and
I think
simple.
like coming back to you said like growing up, our family will always kind of like order that during special occasion. You have like the Hawaiian chicken, the pizza, so it kind of ingrained in me. Of course, growing up when we were kids, that's like guilty pleasure and having pizza. Yeah, and
It's a
only on
treat.
special occasions. Yeah.
Yeah, special occasions, and yeah, I think we come from a generation where it's very different. I would have KFC once a month. My mom would salary payday end of the month. My mom will take the whole family. We all wait in the car. She goes into the only single KFC outlet in Klang. Back then, there's only one KFC outlet. We all wait in the car. I'll follow my mom. She goes and orders everything, and we come, and then we go home and eat this once a month KFC. Nowadays, you go and grab food, you can have KFC 5 times a week. It's that easy. That's kind of scary as
That's
well.
right.
Right? Yeah. Random pizza fact, Alvin. Since you mentioned that pizza is your favorite thing, and pizza is my favorite thing. Did you know that if you go to Hawaii, there's no Hawaiian pizza? No such thing.
I didn't know that.
It's true. Yeah, I had an expat client once who said that this Hawaiian pizza that y'all are eating, did you know it never exists anywhere else? Like it's only here. It's like, oh wow, okay. Great, something to know. But I love I love a little bit of pineapple on pizza. But great. Okay, enough of pizza. Everybody, we want to know what you like. Comment below. Let us know. Number one, where are you streaming in from? And what is your favorite go-to reward? You want to call it a reward meal? You want to call it a refeed meal? You want to call it a cheat meal? Comment below. We want to know what it is. We want to talk about it. Also, if you post your favorite food stuff there, we're going to scroll back later and we're going to go and get and try it too. It's always a good thing. I'm going to read some of the answers that some of them have been posting. And those on Facebook and LinkedIn, keep your answers coming as well. Sumita says ice cream all day. Actually, I could do ice cream all day. Love it. You should check our freezer, Alvin, it's Kim's workout, not mine. She's stocking the freezer with ice cream. Who else? Bhavani says a full bowl of soothing curry mee. I love the way you describe curry mee. You attach emotion to your food. Interesting, right? She said the curry
Right.
meat suits you. Something to think about. Sumita says fluffed waffles and ice cream and banana leaf. Okay, there's two things there. So okay, that's great. I agree with it. Uh, 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 Gerald, my friend's streaming in. He says nasi lemak. Yep, can't go wrong with a good nasi lemak in Malaysia. You gotta find a good one though. Penny is also saying nasi lemak. Penny is from Penang. Penang, every street you turn left, right, cheat meal everywhere in the corner. Right, Penny, that's you. Kim is saying croissants. There you go. Kim likes a croissant. She adds a lot of peanut butter and jam and all of that. Cheyenne is also streaming in. Fitness guy. He's saying that his favorite cheat meal is A&W ice cream, root beer, and curly
Wow.
fries. Yeah. Wow. Have you ever had the A&W ice cream root beer, Elvin? The root beer float with the frosty
Maybe
mug.
when I
It's
was
like a
very young,
massive,
yeah.
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 I don't know.
In
They
much
don't
younger
give out those
days.
mugs anymore. Yeah. Sumita says Elvin used to work at Pizza Hut. Is that true?
That is true. That is true. That's why when you said
Wow.
local homegrown, I would say go for Domino's lah. Go for Domino's. Not that Domino's is sponsoring this show, but if you are to decide whether Pizza Hut or Domino's, I'll say go for Domino's, even though I work in Pizza Hut.
Because you had too much of Pizza Hut. That's why.
Because I seen what happens behind the scene. Let's put it that way.
There you go. Okay, my friends, keep it coming. Today we're talking about cheat foods, cheat meals. We're talking about rewards. We're talking about food. And we're going to go a little deeper into the conversation. And if you have any questions, I would
Yeah.
invite you to click on the little question mark icon on Instagram that you see there. And then your question comes to us officially, and we get to kind of display and screen and air your question on Instagram and on Facebook and LinkedIn. Comment your questions. We actually get to see them coming in, and then we get to feature them on screen and answer your questions as well. Or if you're watching a recording of this session, still comment your questions because we still see your questions and we're still going to answer them. Awesome. Moving forward.
Absolutely. Now, I
Alvin.
love that, yeah,
Yes.
I love that we are talking about all these cheat meals and everyone is commenting. When we think of cheat meal, just thinking of cheat meal sounds bad. But if you look through like how it arises in the health and fitness industry, is that cheat meal, there is a benefit to it. Assuming like someone is dieting to lose fat. So when your goal is fat loss, you are eating in a calorie deficit, meaning eating less than what your body needs. And therefore, of course, you are burning fat over a long period of time. So during that long period of time, what happens is it kind of put your whole body mentally, physically in a very depleted stage. So therefore, back then, the fitness guru and said, you know what, let's put in a cheat meal to kind of boost up that metabolism, which it's true. So studies have shown that if you're prolonged calorie deficit, cheat meal actually have a benefit. It can boost your metabolism, kind of like jumpstart the engine like that.
Yeah. And if you want to say, I don't know, do you follow The Rock on Instagram?
I do. Yeah. So one period he was like, pancakes.
He has epic cheat meal, right? But if you notice, right, his cheat meals are actually pretty, I want to say healthy and calorie dense, right? It's like it's good stuff. He's not eating junk. Eating junk. He's eating very high calorie, sometimes homemade, sometimes there's this brioche bread, and it's just like so much of maple syrup that he's just squeezing in. So his goal is try to get in like this huge, massive hit of calories, right? And it's also like a mental break that he gets on a weekly basis because he trains so hard. And his diet throughout the week is on point. So if you like I love watching it whenever he posts it. He like really makes a big deal out of it, showing preparing. He shows you how he prepares it, and he shows you how he eats it, and he scoops into it, and that's it. There's enjoyment and pleasure in food, and I love how he does it, right? So because cheat meals does not have to be eating unhealthy stuff. I think that's where it can get kind of wrong, right? Like, for example, my cheat meal today is going to be 3 bars of chocolates. it's a bit excessive if you think about it, right? Or my cheat meal today is going to be um, two. If you're in Malaysian, you'll know this. One giant packet of twisties, one giant two bowls of instant noodles, right? So it's still food, but health wise,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the best thing. So even when it comes to cheat meals, you can actually eat kind of healthy stuff. Healthy doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
salads and all of that, but you can still eat stuff that gives you enough protein, gives there's nutritional value. If you eat rice,
Right.
there's nutritional value. You can't say I'm going to have a cheat meal and you're going to have 3 cocktails at the bar because there's not so much nutritional value there, right? So I think when you think of cheat meals as well, you got to see also what you're eating, and it doesn't always have to be unhealthy things. I think because the word cheat is there, we automatically feel that, oh, I'm going to go and look for the most unhealthy food that I can find. But it doesn't have to be that way, because you can actually
Correct.
eat pretty okay food that's going to give you enough protein, going to give you some fat, which your body needs, and carbohydrates. And if you think of it that way, then actually a cheat meal is not really a bad thing. And it gives you that mental break that you need, and it gives you that
Mm-hmm.
caloric surplus that you need without
Mm-hmm.
kind of putting your health at risk in any way.
Correct. So when you eat more single ingredient food, like what Noel shared just now, it
Yeah.
kind of your body kind of absorb the nutrients and kind of push you even further away. Because when you're dieting long period, the first struggles that most of my clients experience, most of us experience, is that the mental barriers, you know, because eating single ingredient food sometimes can be challenging for most people. So
Yeah.
having a cheat meal so on, like kind of push you through that. Or another way to think about it, Noel, since we are talking at this point of like
Mm.
having calories surplus, think of cheat meals more like a refeed meal. So you kind of refeed
Yeah.
yourself, because when you mentioned about eating single ingredients, I remember days back then when I was like dieting down, being a little bit more restrictive with my nutrition and well. So I was gearing towards like being very lean. So I go through that process of calorie deficit, and my way of refeed or cheat meal is actually eating more rice, Noel. Because on calorie deficit, I'm already eating less. I can really feel the mental struggle, like, I really need my
Yeah.
carbs, my rice, but I need to stick to the plan. So when it's days for me to bump up my calories, as we go through calorie cycling on days that is high calories, instead of going out and wasting 1,000 calories on a hamburger, for example, I just triple up my rice portion. I add a little bit more protein. I feel so happy. I feel so happy.
If it makes you happy, then good. But some people it doesn't make them happy. So I think you also need to eat something, right? Because that's the whole idea
Yeah,
of a little cheat. Okay, good. I'm just going to read some answers that I'm getting on Instagram. Shine has a question. Hang on, Shine. We get back to you. Elvira is saying her cheat meal will be tandoori and cheese naan. Wow, I haven't had that in
love it.
so long. So long. I love that, Elvira. So down to earth and Malaysian. Wow. And Cheyenne has a comment. He's saying, the self-claimed carbonated 0 calories drink, really 0 calories. Does the sweetener turn into sugar after digestion? Okay. So what Cheyenne is asking is, let me rephrase that question. Are 0 calorie sweeteners really 0 calories? To answer that question, yes, because you can't label something 0 calories and then actually there's 50 calories inside. That would be fraud. They would get in trouble. So it's actually 0 calories. I think the concern is with some of the 0 calorie drinks is the sweetener. Um, and there's always a bit of health concern with what's in the sweetener. Some people say that some sweeteners raise your insulin. Some people say that the sweetener is going to cause cancer. And there's research that it's just kind of all over the place. But if you're looking at it from a calorie standpoint, and if fat loss or even weight gain is your goal, if it's 0 calories, then it's 0 calories. It's actually not going to add on to your caloric intake. So I always tell my clients that, for example, if someone has a soda drinking habit, that means like I've worked with people who like, I need to drink a liter of Coke a day because that's just what they've evolved into. Now, for someone who drinks a liter of Coke a day, and now I tell them to switch your liter of Coke to a liter of Diet Coke, that's immediate benefit to them, regardless of what the sweetener is. is immediate benefit to them, less sugar, immediate caloric deficit. Okay, of course, the fact that you have to drink a Coke every day is a different problem altogether. But also look at the bigger picture. Switching to something which is 0 calorie can be a benefit to those who really struggle and feel the need, the emotional need that they need to drink something sweet every single day. And for the rest of us, like I can't remember when's the last time I even had a Coke. I can't. So to me, like it doesn't even matter. So I hope I answered the question, Cheyenne. Good question, good thing to think about. But look at the bigger picture. I think a 0 calorie drink is anytime better. Of course, a glass of water is 100 times better, right? But if you're dying to have a 150 calorie glass of Coke and you give me 0 calories, I'll take the 0 calories and I will eat something else, like a slice of pizza with Alvin and save my calories for that.
Love that. So what happened, Shan? I love that question. I'm going to attach an article to answer in depth about 0 calories beverage. I'm going to post that article, the resources, on our Facebook comment section. So do hop over to our Facebook version of this live and you can get the links and resources that Noel and I are going to mention in today's live all over there. So thank you for that question, Shan.
Yeah. So Alvin, when you work with your clients, right? Like for me, most of my clients come to us for fat loss. So we go pretty deep on this whole caloric restriction and making healthier, better food options. But with your clients, I'm not sure, do they come to you more for fat loss or do they come more on strengthening? What do they need? But what is the general nutritional conversation that you have with them? Do you find yourself recommending cheat meals to your clients?
Never. Throughout my whole career as a personal trainer, I never liked the word cheat meal and I never recommend cheat meal. I guess what I do instead, what our focus is, having balance in their nutrition plan, having balance in their life. Even to start off the conversations of good food, bad food, I never like to label a food good or bad. It's more like guiding them that this is moving you away from your fitness goal or moving you closer to your fitness goal. And it's more like additional and subtraction method. You add more of this, you reduce more of this. So I guess that kind of mindset kind of set them up for success. And I think that if you are watching this today, that's some of mindset that you should include in your, not only your nutrition plan, but perhaps in your training and in your life, that you want to add more of good stuff and reduce more of the not so helpful stuff that is helping you or pushing you away from your goal. Yeah. Do you recommend cheat meals, Noel?
No. And I love what you said. There's no such thing as good food or bad food, which is so true. There's no such thing as good food or bad foods. You want to eat something, go ahead. But there is such a thing as foods eaten badly. What I mean by that, like for example, an apple. Apple's good, right? But I can take that apple and I can dip it in caramel and coat it with cinnamon sugar and sell you a candied apple. That's food eaten badly. Poor apple, right? So remember, there's no such thing as good foods or bad food, but you can eat a good food badly. Think of it in that sense. And what Alvin said just now as well, everything you eat is either going to get you closer to your fitness goal or further away from your fitness goal. If you ate a slice of pizza today, that's okay, right? Tomorrow, get right back on track. What you don't want is for your cheat meal to become a cheat day, or your cheat day to become a cheat week, because you go, screw it, I messed up, I didn't go for my workout today, I didn't eat this, let's just text my trainer and say I'm going to see you next week. And then you just go down that hole, right? That's when it becomes bad. And that's the danger sometimes of labeling something cheat meals, because unless you have the discipline to say cheat meal, one time I sit down and eat this and I'm done. If you have no discipline, it can very easily spiral into a cheat weekend. And you can very easily undo all the caloric deficit that you did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You were so good, caloric deficit. Every day you had a 500 caloric deficit. But on Saturday, Sunday, you went overboard and you put on and you consume all those calories that you had a deficit on. And then what happens in the end? No change. You kind of balance everything out. right? And then
Correct.
4 weeks down the road, you were like, why am I not losing weight? Or why am I
Yeah.
not bulking up? Because in 2 days, there's so much that you can achieve. That's why I think it's also
Correct.
important to remember that it's a cheat meal. I have one friend who said that don't even think of it as a cheat meal. You just eat as much as you can, one seating. If you have to get up and go to the toilet and do something else, it's done. It's over. Your opportunity to refeed is done. That's another way to look at it, because it's very easy to let one meal spiral into the next. And then you would go like, oh, lunchtime I already went overboard. What's this ice cream gonna do? It's not gonna hurt me. Oh, okay, let's just have this for dinner instead, because I really that's the danger. Because this cheat meal
Yeah.
thing, this refeed thing has its benefits, but I think there's pros and cons as well. And if you can have the discipline to just stick to one meal, then great. But like for Alvin and I, we don't even recommend this with our clients because it's a slippery slope. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds great, but it's not teaching you overall discipline and overall understanding the bigger picture of things. It makes you feel that your diet is something that you need to cheat on, and it's not. So we are not fans of having cheat meals in the first place. I think this whole cheat meal thing came about with all these bodybuilders like Alvin. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his 80s and 90s and all of that, because those guys would like literally just eat rice and protein shakes and broccoli and chicken breast, and their diet was depressing. It really is. And they needed that caloric refeed, and so hence the
Mm-hmm.
boxes of donuts and this and that. But they strategically were managing it
Right.
because they were bulking up, and they had a fitness a bodybuilding competition. So I think from that, not everything from the whole bodybuilding industry can be adapted and taken to what we're doing. If you and I are just someone who just wants to go to the gym and just get stronger and have better fitness, the whole cheat meal thing can be totally ruin your whole your plans.
Absolutely. I think that is 100% spot on, Noel, because we as a fitness professional, we get our classes and clients share us that very similar situation. I work out really hard. I'm dieting on point. I let loose a little bit on weekend. Why do I still look the same after 4 weeks? Why am I still the same after 8 months? It's your problem, Alvin. Your personal training program is not working. But if you really, you know, sit down and dive deep, we can see
Yeah,
inconsistent eating patterns. And if you really work with a nutritionist or do calorie counting with your MyFitnessPal, you find that what your cheat meal that leads into cheat day can actually ruin the whole process. And I 100% agree with you, Noel, when we say that, when you look at cheat meal, it requires some form of discipline and well-structured foundation in your program in the first place. Like when we look at bodybuilders, they are very, very disciplined. So that one cheat meal is not going to make much different to their overall calories. In fact, some of them even plan it already. Their cheat meal, they know that I'm only
yeah,
going to eat 1,000 calories. And the
yeah.
next thing they do, they get the benefit of the glycogen storage being refilled, mind mentally boosted, and they back on track. Now, are you like that? I can tell you from my experience, most of my clients are not. They're not going to have that same mindset.
No, we all will go to a buffet. We will eat until kingdom comes, and then we don't count calories, right? But because we look at the
Yeah.
whole mental relief part of it. So again, cheat meals are not a bad thing, but it can become something overboard, and if you look at it,
Yeah. I like
yeah,
to think of the word refeed, where you kind of strategically
yeah, yeah,
give yourself an increase in calorie intake for that day. So, for example, if you are dieting well for Monday to Friday, okay, and you know that on weekends you can kind of bump up your calorie a bit. So you kind of plan, that on weekend, hey, I'm going to meet Noel for Saturday dinner, and I know that I'm going to eat in certain restaurants, and therefore I kind of give myself that flexibility to order something nice, something different, like pizza,
yeah,
for example. Yeah. So I allowed
yeah,
myself that opportunity. And then next day, which is Sunday, I kind of go back to my routine eating habits. I try to say no to other invitation. I make sure that I'm somewhat on track. and life goes on. And over 4 weeks, 6 weeks, you realize they said, hey, this works. I have my cheat meal or refeed meal and I am losing weight. I am bringing closer to my fitness goal. So I think that's a right mentality that we all should kind of set ourselves up first. Remind our friends and family, have the conversations around it. And then you know that you are moving forward in terms of your nutrition journey.
Yeah. Sumita saying goodbye to ice cream. Actually, you don't have to, Sumita. It's just a matter of, I think, let me put it this way. It depends on your willpower. Most people don't have, because willpower comes and goes, right? If you're someone who can keep a pint of ice cream in your freezer and only eat it once a week, then sure. But I don't know about you, but most people, if you keep a pint of ice cream in your freezer, you're going to eat it every couple of days. Well, I would, right? Also, there are now better options for ice cream. There are keto ice creams, which have lower calorie, higher fat. They use a combination of sweeteners, and nutritionally, it actually looks kind of good because there's like hardly any sugar in it. There's some fat, which is fine. So have a look at what's on the market right now. You might be surprised at what you find. There are ice creams right now in the market where you can have a whole pint, which we don't. A pint is like so much. For only 250, 280 calories. Who's going to eat a whole pint? You're going to eat half a pint. It's only so little, right? So you can have the satisfaction of eating ice cream. Just got to look for it and find that. So never say goodbye to ice cream. I think the whole purpose of our conversation today also is just to let you all know that there's no such thing as good foods or bad foods. There's foods eaten badly. That's there. Everything that you eat is either going to get you closer to your goals or further away from your goals. And cheat meals may be a great strategy for some of y'all, because it works and you can be mentally so disciplined throughout the rest of the week. For some of us, cannot. I can't do the cheat meal thing. I cannot, Alvin. I am the one who will have a cheat meal and it will spill over into the next, and there goes the whole cheat weekend. That's it. I will do that because I just cannot. To me, I would rather just have some moderation. I want to eat it tonight. I'm just going to do it and just overall make sure I'm having a healthier, balanced diet. That works for me, right? There are people out there, you're watching this and you have food cravings, you have emotional attachments to foods, all kinds of things out there, right? So cheat meal may not be your best option. So have a chat with someone, if you're struggling with this, if you're struggling with your diet and so on. Alvin and I are not nutritionists. We can talk about food habits and helping you make better food choices. But if you really want to dial down and go deep into your nutrition, of course, always look for a certified nutritionist. There's plenty out there. You can look for them. If you need habit-based food nutrition coaching, you can always look for a precision nutrition certified coach as well. There's plenty in Malaysia. I think at least 20 to 30 of us. You go to the Precision Nutrition website and you put down the list and you see who they are. They can coach you, not giving you macros to follow, but really giving you tips and guidelines on how to make better food choices. At the end of the day, I think that eating is not supposed to be restrictive, right? And it has to be, you want to look at eating to support your fitness goals. I think sometimes we just tend to take it a bit too extreme.
Correct.
Yeah. Any wrapping up thoughts, Alvin? There is a question here as well that came in just now. We'll get to that later. But any wrapping up thoughts as we start to close today's topic?
No, I love it. I love that, when you look at it, instead of going all out on a cheat meal, think of like one rule Noel and I like to share about the 80-20. Eat mainly 80% healthy and 20% a little bit of higher calories food, your favorite food, other foods, that is away aside from your weekly or daily diet. 80-20, when you have most of your meals in check, it's not going to make much difference to your overall progress. So when you're kind of in between that scale, then you know that you are set for success towards your fitness goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all boils down to moderation, right?
Yeah.
And being able to eat the things that we want. and eating to support our fitness goals. I think that's the main takeaway. The main takeaway for today, if you watch this whole thing and you were like, well, just give me one thing to take away, Noel and Elvin, it's that there's no such thing as good foods or bad foods. Everything that you eat is either going to bring you closer to your goals or further away from your goals. And just because someone else is doing a cheat meal doesn't mean you have to. It may work for you, it may not work for you. And as Elvin and I have shared, we don't recommend cheat meals to any of our clients because that's not the approach that we want. Your diet is not something that you want to cheat on. That doesn't build a lasting habit that carries you and takes you through your goals. Great. If you have any last questions coming in, comment below. We are about to wrap up. I'm going to scroll back because I saw a question from Gerald here. Gerald's asking, it's a great advice, guys. Apart from working out and eating right, sleep quality is also crucial for fat loss. Absolutely. Your expert advice, please. Gerald, we're not sleep experts, but I can tell you one thing that, yes, I would 100% agree with your statement. Not just sleep, but sleep quality is crucial for fat loss. Your body loves a stress-free environment in order to lose body fat. And all of us are highly stressed. Work, not enough sleep, training, workouts are also stress. Eating too clean, stress, I can't eat what I want, and all of these things. It's all additional stress. And couple that with not getting enough sleep, it's like the worst combination that you can have. And I've had clients, I can share a story where I've had clients who changed nothing with their diet. They trained the same, they ate exactly the same. The only thing they did was they quit their job. Less stress, right? Less stress, got a bit more sleep, training was the same, eating was exactly the same. The body fat that they struggled to lose started to just melt off just like that. What changed? Less stress. That's it. So it's amazing how important sleep is, whether you're running a race the next day, whether your goal is to be a professional bodybuilder, whether your goal is to lose body fat. Sleep is the ultimate game changer. It really is. So it's super important. And I'll just leave one tip, and then before I go to Elvin, in case he has any sleep tips as well, is that in order to get more sleep and better quality sleep, it's not about sleeping in and waking up later. It's really about going to bed earlier, right? So instead of going to bed at 1 a.m., try to go to bed at 11. Try to go to earlier. And I bet you we all have a few minutes that we can shave off. Just a little less TikTok, a little less YouTube, a little less Netflix, whatever it is, and makes a huge difference. Like really, really huge. It's a good question, Gerald. Elvin, any sleep tips from you?
Yeah, I love it that he mentioned sleep quality. So one simple way I explain to clients is that, our body, we have two systems going on. We have the SNS and we have the PNS. SNS is the fight or flight system. We are always active, on the go. When you are at that system, cortisol is high, stress level is high. You're not going to burn fat. You're not going to have good sleep quality. And that's why a lot of us go to sleep and wake up tired, feeling tired. So your SNS is very high on that level. Whereas you want to activate your PNS, parasympathetic nervous system. That's the system that makes you calm down, makes your body goes into recovery mode, repair mode. That's where your body starts to burn fat, boost up your metabolism. That's what reduce cortisol level. And that explains, Noel, why when your clients quit her stressful job, she kind of unconsciously activated her PNS, parasympathetic nervous system. Her stress level dropped, and with whatever that she's currently doing, she starts seeing results with it. And that's where most of us are. A lot of us are in SNS mode. Stress level is high, so sleep quality is affected tremendously. I love your advice, Noel. Sleep early. Indirectly, we're going to have longer hours of sleep, and it is in sleep that somewhat activates your PNS. Yeah, and things that you can do before sleeps, like belly breathing, shut off your phone. I think Noel and I did an episode on that, improve sleep quality. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to post the link to that episode in a comment on Facebook version. So when you have a good sleep quality, you wake up feeling energetic. Then you know that you have a good sleep quality.
Yeah. And the thing about sleep is that if you get better sleep and you're less stressed, your food cravings also reduce because if you're stressed and not getting enough sleep, if you're sleeping only 3-4 hours a day, let me guarantee you that your food cravings, your desire to eat
Yeah.
high carbohydrate, sugary foods is very high as well. When
Mm-hmm.
you're stressed, you crave for all the high carbs. Nothing wrong with carbs, but you crave for it more than you should if you are not getting enough sleep and rest. So even on terms of nutritionally, sleep totally plays a huge role there.
Yeah.
Liana says that quitting my job isn't an option. Yeah, Liana, it's not an option for a lot of us, but I just gave that as an example because the job was a source of stress for that client, right? So in whatever
Yeah.
situation that you are in, what is your source of stress? And if it is your job, I'm not saying that you should quit it, but think about it. What is your job costing you? It's a
And it's so
cost to
interesting,
everything.
Noel,
Yeah,
because the past few episodes, we did an episode on stress. And one of your tips, Noel, is to look at where the stress is coming from and ways
yeah,
that you can reduce. May not be quitting your job, but ways that you
yeah,
can reduce stress is perhaps not to check
absolutely.
your phone after 10 p.m. That's one ways you can reduce your stress in your job. So watch
Yeah.
that episode, which I'm going to paste in the link below too.
Correct. Awesome. Last few moments, everybody, before we wrap up tonight. Liana says you tend to want to munch to stay awake. Correct. If you're not sleeping, guess what you're doing? You're eating, right? It's very true. So your 8 hours of sleep, if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, what are you? You're awake. You're going to be eating. It's just normal human behavior. So getting enough sleep is such a game changer. Thank you for those comments, Liana. Yeah, that's it. I think we covered quite a lot actually. We kind of
Yes, we did.
swayed between emotional attachments to food. We talked about why we don't believe in cheat meals. We talked about the value of having food rewards. We covered quite a lot. Actually, this is a full-on topic that we can go really deep in anytime when it comes to nutrition. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you're watching a recording of this, or even if you're watching now, you can always comment a question, tag us. We will always see your comments and your questions, and we will still be able to reply. If not in that post, maybe even in another episode. Okay. I think the main thing is that you stay connected with us. Alvin, any last words for today before we end today's show?
So thank you all for tuning in. I invite you to hop over to the Facebook version where Noel and I are going to share more resources. And if you have any questions, comment on the Facebook version and we will get instant notification. We will reply you either replying your comment or we perhaps will bring up your question on our upcoming episode.